Another E3 has passed, another slew of announcements, another handful I actually care for, the rest encouraging me to read a good book instead. Let's take a look at what intrigued me the most this year. EA had Anthem, I guess. Unravel 2 is probably fine. Oh, they had Skate 4. Oh wait, that isn't Skate 4, and that wasn't EA, it was Microsoft. They also announced a Cuphead DLC expansion, cleverly named Delicious Last Course, which will provide a whole new aisle. I'm hoping its amount of content matches up to one of the established aisles in the base game. As a Contra veteran, I adored Cuphead's gameplay and lovely art style, but you may have already seen my analysis on the title as a Contra successor already. If not, click the annotation on the top right. Either way, I'm so ready to dominate whatever they're willing to dish out in this expansion. From Software revealed their next big game, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Looks much more dynamic than some of their previous games, loving the look of those grappling mechanics. They later explained that there will be no RPG elements. No stats, no armor, no bonfires, no nothing. Pure action the way these games used to be designed. I'm more than ready for this goodness. They also had the luxury of announcing Devil May Cry 5, bearing the attempted reboot for good. It's soon on returning to the franchise, and they do well showing off some combos and new mechanics right off the bat. I think at the very least, old school DMC fans can look forward to the combat in the successor that really took its time to become a reality. I noticed that Western developers are also partaking in its development. Seeing as how the collaboration appears similar to Resident Evil 7's production, leading to a satisfying title, it may prove to be in great support to Devil May Cry this time. I only recently had the pleasure of completing Devil May Cry 1 and 3. They were certainly frustrating ordeals, but incredibly satisfying once I got the hang of the mechanics and understood how demanding the games were. Looking forward to starting 4 soon. I'm glad that I'm close to catching up for this franchise's next installment. Rage 2 looks alright. It's trying to have a real personality this time, but is it too much? Hard to tell for me, but the absurd atmosphere might help it stand out from the many other FPS games out there today. Bethesda also showed off Doom 5. Doom 2? Oh, Doom Eternal. Okay. Just a teaser, but we'll be seeing gameplay soon enough. I heavily enjoyed Doom 4 or Doom 2016 single-player campaign as a fast-paced shooter that rewarded aggression against the enemies. I can't say I enjoyed the multiplayer at all. My wish would be for them to drop it entirely and instead focus on some sort of cooperative campaign in order to retain that online multiplayer aspect. I think that's a pipe dream though. Devolver Digital actually had new things to show off this time. My friend Pedro looks like a great side-scrolling shooter that call for the player to destroy their targets as resourcefully or cleverly as possible. And Metal Wolf Chaos receiving the port it rightfully deserved 14 years ago. A 2004 Xbox exclusive that sadly never reached the States when it first launched, despite its setting and the fact that it was on that generation's least popular console for its region. The game is Americana spliced with mechs and cranked to the max. Supposedly they held off from an overseas release in fear of offending Western audiences, but I can't find any evidence of that. It certainly wasn't the best title of all time, but the experience itself is so ridiculous and one of a kind, anyone that craves this level of silliness needs to give it a try. And now they may be able to without paying hundreds of goddamn dollars. Square Enix had a pretty small conference. It was more of a stream of trailers than anything else. The Quiet Man teaser was somewhat intriguing. Sure, we only saw a tiny fragment of gameplay, but I will always be interested in a gritty street brawler. I have to say they at least got my attention and hope they can prove to me it's worth checking out. Ubisoft showed off Starlink Battle for Atlas some more. In all honesty, these toys come to life games don't pull me in. I'd rather just be in-game content, but I can't deny the Fox and Arwing figures are tempting. Transference definitely caught my eye. The premise itself is pretty gripping and something I haven't really experienced in a horror-focused atmosphere. I could do without the obnoxious music. Let me just take in the ambience.
Help me, please!
It could just be trailer music for trailer's sake. Hope they understand that subtlety goes a long way for horror. PC Gaming Show's conference had a few announcements, but one that really took me by surprise is Sega supporting PC ports even more. With Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, I was kinda holding out for Anarchy Reigns to show up during this little collab, but oh well. Sony showed us gameplay of The Last of Us 2 and it looks more of the same. I enjoyed the first title very much, but this doesn't appear to be much different. Enemy AI might prove to be more dynamic and challenging this time, but are they really going to rely this heavily on its narrative to interest players? Oh, who am I kidding? This will be bought in droves. I understand that the personal tales of the characters in this wasteland is the real pull and focus of the game, but I still would like to know more about the disease and mutated beings. I really hope the enemy designs in the sequel gets more variety this time around. Come on, bring back the elephant from the chopping block. Ghost of Tsushima looking pretty gorgeous, and I'm interested to learn more about the combat. It appears there's different ways of blocking that rely on you to read the enemy attacks more carefully than simply reacting to a button press. Not saying this is some new innovation, but it appears to have more complex combat than their previous titles. Adding to the wave of samurai games, Nioh 2. Just a teaser, but hey, I like the first game, glad to see they want to keep it going. And we finally get a glimpse of Resident Evil 2 at the PlayStation conference, rightly so. People wouldn't stop jumping to conclusions, worried this game was cancelled or in development hell. Nope, they've been working hard on it under wraps, utilizing the RE engine, and the zombies are looking
fantastic.
Leon's face looks a bit funky though. Regardless, I can't believe the wait for this highly anticipated remake to one of the best survival horror games of all time will be over within months. I also couldn't help but notice they repeated a few similar beats from Resident Evil 7's unveiling, firstly giving you a little idea of what the game actually is until the big reveal, and being nice enough to give you a release date, which even that's almost the same. Nicely done, Capcom. Death Stranding looks like it's going to be about the most dedicated Amazon Prime delivery man. Did anyone make that joke already? Yeah, probably. Traversing awkwardly across rough terrains. Oh, and failing stealth missions? I don't know. I'm glad we're finally seeing gameplay, but I'm still not sure what its core features actually are. This is still just a taste, so I think I'll continue reserving more definitive judgment. Remedy shows off their new game simply titled Control, and it looks like it'll be really fun. You just get to Magneto the shit out of your enemies? I'm in. More Spider-Man, but come on. Spider-Man is 3 months away. I don't want to see any more Spider-Man. I'm getting Spider-Man already. Stop it, Spider-Man. Alright, come on Nintendo, time to bring it all home. Show these fools how to get it done. Didn't show those fools how to get it done. I actually went to Nintendo World in New York City thinking the live E3 showing was the same as the event for playing the new Smash Bros. Demo. It wasn't. It might have been my fault for thinking as such, but the point is it was a huge waste of time, bunched up with a bunch of jerk-offs that don't know how to be quiet. Daemon X Machina looks cool, and then the new Smash Bros. Finally confirms it's the franchise's Mortal Kombat trilogy, where they just cram as much shit from all the previous games as possible, which shouldn't have surprised anyone. But I will say the improvements and tweaked mechanics look great. And every single previous fighter returning now that they don't have a piece of shit like the 3DS holding them back? I'm especially glad to see Wolf make a return. And as far as we're led to believe, every single stage from all of the games too? Besides the variations of Battlefield and Final Destination, probably. I really want to see Mute City again. Oh, and put Smash Run in this version, with online. Please. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate feels like Sakurai putting everything he possibly can into one huge game. After developing the fourth title on Wii U and 3DS post-game for years and taking all the feedback since it was first revealed, he took everything into account to make the best version he could muster. This could potentially be his swan song for the franchise since he's been talking about retiring from the series for years. And I can't ignore the fact that we saw Mario get fucking murdered live on stream. By Ridley of all people. I like to think it wasn't just demand for the inclusion of this crusty bastard as a full-fledged character, but also the tons of naysayers claiming it would be logistically impossible for Sakurai and his team to include him. He essentially proved half the Smash fans wrong while greatly pleasing the other half. Unfortunately, that was all Nintendo had to announce. I, like everyone else surely, was hoping to see more announcements. Everyone knew Smash Bros. Would steal the E3 show, but we didn't think it would steal most of the time as well. So with all that, E3 was fine, I guess. It had some good announcements that really thrilled me for the near future, and others that just make me groan. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this year's E3, and thanks for watching. Big shoutouts to my early patrons. First of all, the Cool Ghouls, Jack Zustiak. Hey, did you do something with your hair? You look great. And Ushurak. Did you know that's backwards for Karusuru? Karusuru. I'm having a hard time pronouncing the word I just made up. And of course, my ghosties. I really appreciate you guys for pledging and believing in me. If you're not already a patron, you can find the link to my page below and check out the rewards and the opportunity to influence what I work on next.